This is the story of a man named Daniel. I'm going to tell you something that will chill your bones and make you wonder if dreams can truly hurt you. So, listen carefully, because once you hear it, you may never sleep the same way again. Daniel was a quiet man. He worked at a small bookshop in a sleepy town where not much ever happened. He lived alone, didn't have many friends, and most nights he went to bed early. Life was simple, safe. But that was before the dreams started. It began one night, like any other. Daniel lay in bed, closed his eyes, and drifted off to sleep. But instead of peaceful rest, he woke up in a dark forest. The trees were tall and twisted, their branches like claws. Fog covered the ground and there was no sound, no wind, no animals, just silence. He called out, but no one answered. Suddenly, he heard footsteps behind him, slow, heavy steps. He turned, but there was no one. He ran. The footsteps followed. He didn't know where he was going, just away from the sound. And then, just as he felt a hand brush his shoulder, he woke up. Sweating and shaking, Daniel told himself it was just a bad dream. But the next night, it happened again. The same forest, the same fog, the same feeling that something was watching him. And always, the footsteps. Every night, he ended up back there. Each time, the dream lasted longer. The thing in the forest got closer. One night he saw its shadow, tall, thin, with long arms and no face. He tried to wake up, but he couldn't. He screamed, but no sound came out. Only when the shadow touched him did he bolt upright in his bed, gasping for air. He started avoiding sleep. He drank coffee, took cold showers, walked around his apartment at night. But eventually, his body gave in. He slept, and he was back in the nightmare. Daniel began losing his mind. At work, he looked tired, his hands shaking, his eyes hollow. His boss told him to take time off, but rest was the last thing Daniel wanted. He started seeing the shadow even when he was awake, reflections in windows, in the corner of his eye. It was like the dream was leaking into the real world. One night, he met an old woman at a bus stop. She looked at him and said, "It's following you, isn't it?" Daniel froze. "What do you mean?" "I've seen it too," she whispered. "Long ago. I barely escaped. But once it finds you, it never truly lets go." "Is it a ghost?" "No," she said, eyes wide. "It's a curse. A nightmare that feeds on fear. The more scared you are, the stronger it gets. And when it gets strong enough, you don't wake up." Daniel begged her for help. She told him there was only one way to break it. "You must face it. Don't run. Let it come. Let it touch you. But you must not be afraid." That night, Daniel didn't fight sleep. He let it take him. And just like always, he was back in the forest. The fog was thicker, the air colder. The footsteps came, louder than ever. This time, he didn't run. He stood still. The shadow stepped out of the trees. Its face was still blank, but its presence filled him with terror. It raised a hand, and Daniel closed his eyes. "I'm not afraid," he whispered. The hand touched his chest, and nothing happened. The fog lifted. The trees faded, and he woke. Up, truly awake for the first time in weeks. The nightmare didn't return. The shadow was gone. But sometimes, just before falling asleep, Daniel swears he hears soft footsteps. And he wonders, what if it's only waiting? What if the nightmare never really ends? And now that you've heard the story, you might hear those footsteps too. Tonight, when you're lying in bed, when the room goes quiet, just remember, don't be afraid, or it might come for you next.